When it comes to royal events, few can rival the pomp, pageantry and attention of monumental firm weddings. It certainly seemed like the world stopped when Prince William and Princess Catherine married in 2011, taking over Westminster Abbey for the day and waving to the thousands of people who lined the streets to catch a glimpse of the newlyweds. Many were quick to compare their wedding to that of King Charles III and Diana Spencer, which, it could be argued, was the most iconic royal wedding to date. And, as no one can forget, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle tied the knot in 2018 in an epic ceremony. It seems that even the most ardent detractors among us can't help but indulge in the fairy tale reality of the royal wedding. Viewers saw the, almost, royal event in May 2017 when Pippa Middleton and James Matthews tied the knot. Pippa, of course, is Catherine's younger sister and a valued figure in England's high society. She first hit the headlines thanks to the incredible ensemble she wore on Catherine's wedding day, and quickly took the most stylish outfit lists by storm. Having found their prince, albeit without an official title, Pippa and James married in a glorious ceremony attended by both royalty and aristocracy. While it wasn't exactly a royal wedding, it was certainly close to it, and the bride and groom spared no expense to make their big day memorable. Pippa Middleton's wedding dress created a sensation. Before we go any further, we need to start with the dress, which is one of the most important aspects of any high society wedding. As noted earlier, Pippa Middleton quickly made headlines thanks to the super chic ivory dress she wore to Princess Catherine's wedding in 2011. She chose her wedding day herself, although there was a lot of speculation and predictions as to which designer was behind her wedding dress. Pippa stepped out on the big day in a gorgeous, custom-made Giles Deacon ensemble, looking like a true princess from head to toe. The dress had an A silhouette with delicate lace laid across the body. The detailing on the sleeves was the perfect touch, and Pippa completed the look with a subtle glittery hairdo. Meanwhile, Deacon spoke to Business of Fashion about the inspiration behind the dress, telling the publication that incorporating a wow component was one of their design goals. "I wanted to ask, how was that done, factor?" Deacon told the publication exclusively, adding that Pippa's wedding dress was part of his then new approach to design as he sought a career transition into the ready-to-wear market. When asked if Pippa had a hand in designing the dress for the ceremony, Deacon simply said, "She has a great eye, she knew what she wanted." Many royal watchers know that when it comes to bridesmaids and pageboys at royal weddings, the roles are filled by children. But just as Pippa Middleton walked behind Princess Catherine at her wedding in 2011, fixing her plume and stepping on stage as any maid of honor would, some wedding watchers wondered if Catherine would serve as her sister's maid of honor on her own big day. As it turned out, the decision was a difficult one, but in the end Pippa decided not to invite her sister to the concert. Instead, the children served as bridesmaids and pageboys, more on that later, and Catherine watched the little ones and their behavior as they entered the church. While she helped fix her sister's dress and practice upon her arrival, Catherine was mostly present in the background on Pippa's wedding day. According to Judy Wade, who wrote Diana, an intimate portrait, this was all done intentionally. Kate would sideline her sister. "It's a difficult situation for Pippa. She would want her sister by her side, and who else could she trust to keep things going? But if your sister is the future queen, she's going to sideline the bride and get attention," Wade told People magazine ahead of Pippa's wedding, explaining why Catherine won't have a more prominent role on the day. "Kate would like to stay in the background as long as possible," she concluded. Pippa Middleton used this detail from her sister's wedding. The fact that Princess Catherine didn't play a big role in Pippa Middleton's wedding day doesn't mean the bride didn't want to incorporate hints of her sister into her closet and jewelry choices. As more details about Pippa and James Matthews' wedding began to emerge, royal fashion watchers noticed that Pippa wore a pair of beautiful diamond earrings, but they weren't just a random set, they were the same earrings she wore to her sister's wedding. In 2011, on the eve of Catherine's wedding, Michael and Carol Middleton ordered 2 pairs of earrings from British jeweler Robinson Pelham to give to their daughters. Both sets contained references to the Middleton family crest. Catherine's had oak leaf and acorn motifs, while Pippa's had designs inspired by leaves and pears. The Princess of Wales earrings were more prominent than her younger sisters, but Pippa didn't seem to mind, as she wore the pair again on her wedding day 6 years later. In addition to the earrings she ordered, Pippa wore other stunning jewelry. Her incredible engagement ring is also said to have been designed by Pelham, although she got a simple gold wedding band that couldn't compete with the Art Deco rock style. Completing the look, she opted for a small tiara that perfectly framed her auburn hairstyle. While Pippa Middleton and James Matthews' wedding wasn't technically a royal event, it could very well have been. Much like Princess Catherine and Prince William's big day, people lined the streets to catch a glimpse of the bride as she made her way to the church, and they were treated to the sight of Pippa arriving in style. Along with her father, Michael Middleton, Pippa pulled up to St. Mark's Church, just a stone's throw from the Middleton family's Bucklebury estate, in a 1951 Jaguar. The open-top car was a risky move because of the day's weather. The heavens opened up with rain just moments before the bride headed into the church, but as if the universe knew what an important moment this was for Pippa and James, the weather cleared and it made the grand entrance worthy of the royal family. Meanwhile, some locals managed to get close to what was happening. Royal watcher Elizabeth Mary Reeves told the BBC she was one of the residents who received a wristband that gave them access to the church property on the wedding day. Commenting on Pippa's wedding look, Reeves told the BBC of the bride's arrival, "She stood and waved and looked just beautiful. Like all brides, they shine no matter how expensive their dress is. She looked just beautiful." Here's what happened during the ceremony itself. Anyone who watched Prince William and Princess Catherine's wedding knows that it seemed to last forever, but that wasn't the case for Pippa Middleton and James Matthews. As far as high society weddings go, their ceremony lasted a short and sweet 45 minutes, and the wedding events themselves were deliberate and meaningful to the couple. Arriving at St. Mark's Church, the bride entered a room decorated with candles and beautiful floral arrangements. The Winchester Cathedral Choir was there to sing some incredible hymns, and they sang "I Pledge Thee My Country," "Be My Vision," and "Tell My Soul," amongst others. Pippa and James' family members then took turns reading excerpts. Rounding out the list, Catherine offered a prayer as her contribution to the ceremony. It was certainly a family affair if ever there was one, with Catherine looking after the young bridesmaids and page boys, and Spencer acting as best man and usher. He stood at the church door and greeted all the arriving guests. Despite all the attention on the occasion, everyone looked cool, calm and collected. It wouldn't be a royal wedding without young bridesmaids and page boys, and Pippa Middleton's wedding day involved two very special little ones, her nephew and niece, Prince George and Princess Charlotte. On the eve of the ceremony, Princess Catherine is said to have been a little concerned about her role on Pippa's wedding day. Kate said they were all looking forward to her sister's wedding at the weekend, but she was a little worried about how her children might behave. Buckingham Palace garden party attendee Andrew Bates later told reporters, according to People. Although Catherine was a little worried, it seemed that George and Charlotte's participation went off without a hitch. Catherine paid close attention to the little ones as they waited outside the church, at one point showing them to lower their voices as the ceremony was about to begin. The two little members of the royal family looked simply adorable and were joined by Lily French, Avia Horner, Countess Philippa Oyos, William Ward, Casimir Tados and Edward Seabuyer. If there's one tradition we should all adopt from royal weddings, it's having young children participate in the ceremony. Those kids are just adorable,